G'day everyone, you found the Champ Talk, recommended by 9 out of 10 nutritionists as part of a balanced diet. So today, jumping back into some historic with this Grixis list that I posted in my previous video. If you didn't catch the wrap up at the end of my last video, basically what's going on is I love this deck so much I played the pants off it over an entire weekend and have a bunch of footage, and I'm just going to share it with you guys because I loved playing the deck. And yeah, I played a lot of it. I'm going to keep playing it. I've been trying to grind up platinum a bit with varied amounts of success. It was a bit of a learning curve getting into the deck. So what you're going to see is still relatively early. I think it's about my 4th game with the deck, so I'm still learning the ropes a bit. But yeah, there's just going to be one game in today's video because it's a slightly longer one. It's a mirror match with another Grixis deck. We do get the win in the end because my devotion to Grixis is greater than theirs. All hail Lord Bolas and stuff like that, other things that people say. But yeah, let's jump on in, view some games, and I will catch you after the match. So we're 1-1 so far. We did get reasonably unlucky in the previous game against the Mardu Death Shadow. This hand is obviously unkeepable with only one land that's tapped, so we'll mulligan. We have been on the draw in all 3 of our game 1s. So far this hand is much better. What do I put back? I mean, these cards are all quite good. I think it's really between Bolas and Bonecrusher Giant. I really like Bolas. Bonecrusher Giant gives us the removal though, but it's still quite likely we might be holding the multiverse on turn 3. I think just on face value, Bolas is the stronger card, so we're going to go with that. You may disagree. Our opponent's name is Alive, limited only, clearly untrue, because here we are in a constructed queue. But let's see what they're on. If they're on an aggro deck, obviously we're taking bad punish without blocking the giant. This will enter tapped. Okay, so they're also on Grixis. Mirror match. Punished Never mind. So we're going to do this right here, right now, not waste any time about it because they could have a release. And we do not have a way to answer Tibalt at the moment. So I think next turn we play this on blue so that we have a counter spell available. So I want to play the land they know about. I was thinking to play it on red because I already have 2 black, but this can be red if I really want it. I think I want this to be blue though. I still think it's maybe just red. So we're going to foretell this. And we just want to keep the counter spell up as long as we can, I think. Release to the wind is nice. I think this is fine. If they give us something to counter, we counter. If they don't, we behold. Okay, they don't, so we behold. It's unlikely they counter this. Land is nice, and unconditional removal is also nice, so I think I keep both of these. I'm going to shock this in. I just like having access to more mana, and I don't think life is what this match is going to be about. So do I want to slam down my Bone Crusher Giant, knowing it probably gets removed? Or do I want to set up another... I think I just set up another Head of the Multiverse and call that a turn. I now have both Behold and Saw It Coming held up for next turn. Which, I mean, I guess I had anyway, but which is still nice. Don't think I need another Fatal Push. I think another Ravager could come in handy. More land, always nice. So I'm probably just holding up Saw It Coming. I don't think I need to shock in. That would give me Ravager and Release to the Wind. That would leave my counter spell shields down, so I don't think it's worth it. I think we just do this and play out a Ravager. It probably needs a removal spell. It's probably a spell, but they do have to discard something first, so it's still a 2-for-1. Even though really turning on a removal spell is actually giving them a card that was otherwise useless to them. But, you know, sometimes it be like that. Yep, there it is. That's fine, I'm not going to bite this. So I can play this, and I have one counter spell held up. I can tell this, and I have 2 counter spells held up. So yeah, I think I do that. I think we just go with the old win and just set ourselves up for a better turn next time. So I could still play the Giant and have a counter spell held up, but I like having 2 up. My opponent's been hitting land drops like a blast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they can almost play a Tibalt with a 2-mana counter spell backup. Now I can play Tibalt and Release and still have a counter spell held up. Don't know if that's worth it though. Don't like how it's trying to tap there. So we're just going to play out the Giant. Still got 2 counter spells held up here. Now it probably just eats another removal spell, but it's not coming out of their hand. Stop is fine. Kick out of that. That's not what this game is about. Sure, there it is. Don't think there's a point in attacking. Just checking my land, so I can't quite have Valki and Release and 2 Saw It Coming held up. So I think we're just going to pull this here. Still got 2 counter spells held up this way. What do they discard? Yep, so it is a mirror match. Discard a release. Makes sense. So if they try to kill Bolas, it turns on Fatal Push for me. But they're not doing that. I think they're trying to turn on their own Fatal Push. So I'm actually just going to take it. So if I block here, they can Fatal Push the Bolas and my board is empty and my onboard advantage is gone. Now they have to actually make it hard if they want to do that. And again, they're tapped quite low, so they could still have a counter spell, but only one now. Target creature 2 or less. So I could release something here just to turn on my Fatal Push, but I don't think that's worth it. Really wish I had another land here. So I don't know if I just go for Valki. Yeah, no, I'm just going to live it up here dangerously. Slap down Valki here. I've got the beast and the counter spell build up. So at this point I kind of have to fight over it. Okay, last card in hand is a land.
Bring Cold to its knees.
So we'll get rid of one of their bone crushers. Fatal Push the other. Put my Valki left the battlefield. Done. Our shields are down this turn, but that was still a very strong turn for us. Our opponent's way behind now. Even if they answer Tibalt, I can flip Bolas next turn. So just playing really patient for those first few turns and just setting up while Foretels has paid off, it seems. And it seems we also just got a little luckier with our draws than our opponent did. We both were sort of staring at each other for the first Okay, so they do manage to get Tibalt off the field. I've got 3, 6, 7, I've got 8 mana here, so it's not enough to play Valki or flip Bolas and hold up Bone Crusher to protect something. But it is enough to settle this. There's no point for telling Behold as well. Or is there? I guess that way I can... Yes, actually there is a point. Wait, no, there's not. I either saw it coming in Behold or Stomp in Behold. Cool, so I'm going to Stomp now. Why do I need to pay more? Stop. Submit. Oh, because I'm in control. Right. Just because I'm in control. Right. Sorry guys, I'm still confused there for a moment. And I think we just pass. We can either draw some cards or counter 2 spells. They only have 1 to cast, but... And we're also presenting Nicol on board. Yep, beautiful. Textbook. So, we want Thoughtseize, we want Mystical Dispute, we want Negate. What does Eliminate do here that Heartless Act does not? Nothing. But Fatal Push is actually probably the weaker option here. I think I'm just going to cut the Release. I still think it's one of the weaker cards. Fatal Push needs Revolt to actually hit anything in their deck other than Valki, and I've got a bunch of other better ways to, well, not necessarily better, I've got a bunch of other ways to hit Valki. I mean, I could regret this if I, depending on how the opening few turns go, but I think this is correct. There are situations where I could but I still think it's the correct choice. So we are on the draw again. This hand is okay. Risky, but okay. Okay. That's great for us. This is actually a pretty decent draw. Getting a land is nice. We really do need to Thoughtseize here. We don't have a way to answer a Valki. So if they have Valki into Release, we're just done. And they do. So we're going to get rid of the Valki. Foretell. Yep, that's fine. Hopefully they don't get a Thoughtseize. And they do not. We don't need red just yet, so we can do this. We've got Behold held up, we've got Sword coming held up, or we've got Behold and Mystical Dispute. Tell, sure. I'll take both of those, thank you. So we are just going to foretell Sword coming in. But I was a little bit careful about how I tapped there because this way I can also have double Dispute held up. Yep, I think we allow this. And again, right now patience is the name of the game. Double Valki's nice though. This gives us access to Mystical Dispute as well as a Foretold card. Our life total is a bit low, but again, that's not really what this matchup is going to be about. So let's fire this off. If they want to counter it, we do have the Mystical Dispute, and I will use it. Just because Mystical Dispute is not getting much better. So they traded their dispute for my dispute. Release could be good, to be honest. Land is also nice. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. We know about Murderous Rider, so we know. Look at this hand, double release, double rider, and a Mystical Dispute. So we could release and fight through it to establish Tibalt, and then they kill it anyway, they get their other rider back. I mean, we need to get through these riders eventually, and we don't know what either of these are. But yeah, I think we just hold the line for now. We do have the combo if we want it. So if I release, they rider in response. No, I think we just hold the line. Let's go to attacks. Double red should be enough. So we've got all of our counters held up next turn if we need them, which is nice. This could be a Beholder Multiverse, which will be fine, honestly. Yep, I'm not going to fight that. Oh, this is tense. This is tense. Triple Valki. We could also transform this into Murderous Rider. Bone Crusher Giant. And we're actually just going to do that. It might have been better to just cast and release. But our release dispute, this can't be. And I feel like they probably assume we have release and are trying to bait it out from us. life, which is nice. There's no point to shocking this in right now. I'm happy to just continue this staring match for now. Obviously they can play out their Bone Crusher Giant whenever they want to. I have to assume these are counter spells. If there was a whole multiverse, they've played them by now. Similarly, they have to know that I have at least 2 counter spells, and they also have Mystical Dispute. So in terms of counters, we're entirely evenly matched right now. So it looks like they're just waiting for us to blink. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 2. It'd be nice to have, when I have 1 more mana, I think I get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 6, 9. So yeah, when I get to 10 mana, I've got full price dispute held up with release and both Sword Comings. If I play this, what do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. 6 manas. And I think we just keep waiting, keep watching. Stomp is actually far from useless with our opponent on 8. Gaining life is difficult for this deck. I notice they've got up 2 Murderous Rider, which is more than I have. So I think we just go to this now. That warning sign also just made me realize this is a copy of something they control. So there's a very small chance they end up in control of it. If I'm Mystical Dispute here, they have to spend another counter. So I guess this is what we're fighting over. I guess this is what we're fighting over. Full price, jeez. So they actually have 1 more counter spell than we thought, because they have 1 in hand. No, I take it back. They played Mystical Dispute, not Sword Coming yet. Okay, so they have the negate. Everything gets through. But they do end up with a Murderous Rider that can kill our Valki. Little do they know, we can steal their Murderous Rider with a Valki. So our shields are obviously down here. We have no way to protect our Tibalt. There's Thoughtseize. So I'm assuming this is a Sword coming. But we can just back-to-back Tibalt for a few turns as well. Sword coming. Sure. I should have played that one first, that was a mistake. So I could still Valki first, steal this Murderous Rider. They could release my Valki, play the Rider. I think it's better to just do this. Take the Murderous Rider in the intervening time. I've got 2 cards of Tibalt, and I've got to follow up Tibalt next turn. I think I'm maybe just over this sequence. Rider.
Catch me if you can!
And it goes down to 6.
Pain.
Which means we can knock them down to 4. And then play a Tibalt. But I did make a mistake. I didn't play Valki first to steal the Rider. That was entirely my bad. Oh, so they might have a counterspell. Might have a counterspell. I have 10 mana. Okay, looks like they do indeed have a counterspell. It could just be sticking off those. If they have it, I think. Could just be sticking off the releases. Totally forgot about that. I'm really not paying attention to known information.
Your anger is palpable. I can work with that.
So we're actually just going to get rid of the Rider here. Because we are threatening Nicol with the Bone Crusher Giant. Well, that's truly unfortunate. So they get to kill our Tibalt. Damn, should have just ticked up.
You know what?
Retrospectively, should have just ticked up. That's unfortunate, so our opponent has pulled ahead now. More cards in hand. That's unfortunate, we were in quite a good position just 1 or 2 turns ago. Still, our opponent is dead to a stomp. But we have been through 3 Valkis. Play the Rider, probably play the Bone Crusher as well. That was entirely my fault. I knew they had the release as well. Doesn't matter though, we should be able to kill them from here. Heartless Act here. They can try to save it. Yep. So they can release to the wind and then try to kill my Bone Crusher Giant, but targeting it kills them. They can attack through to kill them, or if they have anything else, I can release to pick up the Giant and stomp them for 2. I did the Heartless Act first. Sorry, I'll go in here. So, our opponent's on 2. If we get through, they're dead. This is their blocker. They can release to get the blocker back, and then target the Bone Crusher Giant, but they know we have released, so then we scoop up our Giant and stomp them for the win. We could just release and stomp them for the win, but they could have a counterspell in these 2, which is why I played this first. They pretty much have to counter, because they really need this Murderous Rider on the battlefield to block the Bone Crusher Giant and gain them some life. And if they do have a counter, they have to spend it here, which frees me to play release. So yeah, we pretty much had them checkmated there. That was a good game. I hope you enjoyed watching that, because I enjoyed playing it. Okay, so there we go. Grixis versus Grixis. We obviously proved that we are the superior Grixis list and the superior Grixis player, and just the superior person. All of these things are objectively true and demonstrated by the gameplay you just watched. I hope you feel as privileged to have watched it as I was to share it with you. For reals though, thanks for watching, guys. There is going to be more of this deck. As I said, I've just loved playing it, and I thought I'd make a little series out of it, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching it and get a kick out of it, because it's a great list. Fun to play. I'm probably going to be playing around with the list. I'm actually curious to try a version without Release to the Wind. I don't know how good that gimmick is. I think you could like at least cut this down to 2. There's a few little things I think you could change that are worth playing with, but anyway, that'll be a little bit in the future, because I still have a ton of footage of me playing this version of the list. Anyway, guys, thanks for spending your time with me. It was great to share some time with you all. Stay brilliant, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and give someone a high five from me. Peace out.